Okay, hooligans, welcome back. In this video, we're going to tie all the animation stuff together and see if we did the right things and we've got some animation in the movement of our Hoolie. So let's go straight into our animation blueprint. I'll do a quick recap on some things we should have on the left. From the last, the main states, or from the center, you can just double click on this Anim graph here to go to the Anim graph. Remember, you got the breadcrumbs up here. So we got nothing connected yet to our output pose. We're almost there, but let's finalize things in our main state. And what we need to do is we need to take a look at these aliases. So to fall and to land. Remember, an alias is sort of a receiver. And so the to fall, for example, the to fall is associated with land and locomotion. So you want to check land and locomotion. So the to fall will transition into the land and the locomotion, whereas the to land will be the jump and the fall loop. And so again, these are receivers of how states are transitioning and things are happening there. So in the to fall alias, think of it as being able to receive and then associate with landing and then transitioning into locomotion. To land came from you've jumped, you're in this fall loop, so the jump and the fall loop. So again, sort of makes sense. I can go into more detail, but hopefully that'll make sense to you, and we can. I could certainly, like I said, maybe a PowerPoint is probably the best way to explain all this. Okay, so go back into our Anim graph and let's go ahead and connect all this up. So if I right click here, actually, instead of right click, you want to drag from the main, you want to drag from the main stage, and instead of placing a new node, you want to get defaults. So it's called defaults. Let's see what we can search. Yeah, slot. There you go. We want to get the default slot. What this is because we're going to start animating now. We're going to connect it to this anim. So our character is connected to this animation blueprint, and the result of the pose we want. The default slot, every skeleton comes with a slot called a default slot. And so this is kind of saying we're going to grab that skeleton and we're going to start doing the animation. So from the main states, and remember, main states define just about everything. This up here is being used in, all we did here is we wanted to make and create this cached one. Is used in main states, remember, the locomotion here. And we're going to connect it to the default slot in the skeleton, and we're going to connect it up to our animation. So when I compile and save, you're going to start to see the flow as that goes through, and that's it. So now everything should be working. I'm going to go ahead and close that down, double check and make sure we're good. So now let's play. Let's see how this works. Ooh, interesting. So when we hit play, we are in our, basically our locomotion, which starts with what? The idle. So there's our idle. And when I turn, I can look left, look right. I'm using the joystick, by the way. Get the Hoolie running right or left, straight at me. Now remember, I have my camera as a third-person camera here. Might change and move it back a little bit. But one of the things I want to show you here, so see he's walking. Now I'll do a quick jump, not very high. When he comes down, goes back into the idle. Looking good, looking good. One of the things I did is I created this staircase that you kind of climb up. So jumping up when he fell there, a little bit of distance, and that's at 50. I wanted to show you that landing. So remember, when we jump, so if a high distance here, if I jump, already jump, he goes, so you see how he tucks his feet and he kind of lands that way. It's kind of a cool thing. And remember, we did that based on a velocity of 50. So it happened pretty quickly. When you do a high jump and you come down, you might hit that. You can go ahead and change that to 100 or something like that if you don't want the your Hooligan to go into that. You basically don't want the Hooligan to go into that on simple jumps. You want him to only go into that falling motion off of a big jump. But there you go. So pretty cool. And we got our Hooligan kind of moving around. He's got some cool animation to him, and he's ready to run around some worlds. And one of the reasons why I wanted to go you through this tutorial and get us to this point is so that we can basically get, now we can grab some cool environments. And if you've got this all set up on your Hooligan, you can start to bring into your project from Unreal some cool environments. This is the best way to explore environments because you can drop your Hooligan in there and you can run around in them. Right, and you can kind of take a look around, and it's kind of a great way to sort of understand that environment, and you can create some cool stuff. So hopefully that's helps. In the next video, what I'll do is probably drop it into the environment, or maybe do a few tweaks on the jumping and some of that stuff to get the animations flowing nice and smooth. Hope that helps.